Look, in this video, I'm going to show you how it is possible to boost your credit score up to 100 points within 5 business days. Now, that being said, I'm going to also show you some of the best places you want to go get funding once you boost your credit score. Now, the first thing, you're going to need a tool. And the tool that you're going to need is Credit Karma. All right. So now here's the thing about it with Credit Karma. And I know a lot of you all say, well, Houston, you're always telling us that Credit Karma is a Vantage scoring system. That's correct. And I always tell you that Credit Karma scoring system can be off by 50 to 80 points. All right. Now, because Vantage score updates faster than FICO score, this is the reason why you want to use this system. Now, please understand with Credit Karma, they actually only give you your TransUnion and your Equifax credit file. Now, some of you may be asking, well, what about Experian? And I'm going to explain that to you in a minute. But first, let me explain to you about the operation of Credit Karma. Credit Karma being a lead generation system, okay? And because they use a Vantage score, and your Vantage score can update within 48 to 72 hours, okay? What that system does, it influences you as the individual when you're using Credit Karma to start applying for credit cards. However, when you start applying for those credit cards, you may be denied. But there's a reason why you may be denied. Because of what Credit Karma is telling you to apply for. And the institution they're telling you to apply with. Credit Karma usually is telling you to use FICO 8 institutions. So they would tell you to use Capital One. They would tell you to use American Express. They would tell you to use Chase or Bank of America, okay? Or even Discover. They're going to tell you to use these institutions to apply for credit cards. Now, all of those institutions I just named, those are Tier 1 institutions. When you have a high Vantage score, you should only be using a Tier 3 and Tier 4 institution, okay? That's the problem. So that's the reason so many people get denied. Now, I want you to stick with me because I'm going to go deep into this so that you clearly understand how to actually take advantage of your Credit Karma credit score so that you can actually get approved. Again, like I said, I have institutions. I'm going to show you where to actually go with your Vantage score to get the funding. Now, here's the thing about it. Like I said, with TransUnion, you can dispute your items, okay? And with Equifax, because they have a link that's linked to Equifax to dispute. Now, again, once you dispute those negative items on your credit file through Credit Karma for TransUnion and Equifax, usually within 48 to 72 hours, these negative items are removed, okay? Now, because these negative items are automatically removed, they cannot report these until full investigation, your Vantage score goes up, all right? Now that you understand that, let's go to the next step because this is very important. What you want to do, and this is also possible, what you want to do is write down all of your household monthly bills. So your rent, electricity, water, cable internet, subscriptions, car payment, car insurance, cell phone. Now, I know you're scratching your head. You're saying, why am I writing these down? Because these are trade lines, okay? And because these items are trade lines, these items will help influence your Vantage score. This will give your Vantage score a boost. Now, the best system that's out there that give you a higher limit or line of credit that reports on your credit file and it reports much faster is Stellify. Stellify will report all of your household monthly expenses, okay? And as you can see here, for those of you that know how to get access to it, I'll put a link below. Now, here's the reason why. I know some people say, well, I have Grow Credit. Yes, Grow Credit does report your monthly expenses. However, Grow Credit only reports up to $1,800. This here system reports up to $25,000. This is the reason that you would want to take a look at this system. Now, if you have Grow Credit, I'm not telling you to get rid of it. I'm just letting you know that this here system is more flexible. Now, usually with Grow Credit, they may take anywhere from 60 to 90 days to report those utility bills and things. This here goes anywhere from 4 days up to 30 days to report your utility expenses on the credit file. Okay? Now, did you have bad credit? You challenged the negative credit, plus you done added positive trade lines, right? Then, the next thing you're going to do, okay, you're going to look at all of your consumer debt, your credit cards and loans, all right? And this is where the debt snowball comes in play. As you can see here, this is about $4,000 worth of debt. Okay, and as you can see here, they set these bills up from smallest to largest. And this is exactly what you want to do. Now, here's what I would tell you. You want to try to pay as many of your revolving accounts down to zero. Okay, because you don't want a lot of revolving debt open. So many of us with challenging credit, we probably got a Progressive card or something of that nature, right? Since we have those low limit credit cards, paying those down to a zero balance. Again, the VantageScore system is going to pick up this information right away. Okay, not FICO score, but the VantageScore system is going to pick it up right away. Now, here's the thing about it. There's a new VantageScore system. It's the VantageScore score system. And there are institutions out there for it, and I'm going to show you one of them that's very popular. That being said, what you want to do, as I stated earlier, you want to pay down, and you want to pay down all of your smaller accounts down to zero, as many as you can, as fast as you can. Okay? Now, for those of those accounts you cannot pay down, you want to continue making the minimum payments. And I would tell you one other key. If possible, if you have extra money, say that you're working for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash or something, you want to pay your bills, your credit card bills and other accounts as often as possible. If that means daily or weekly, trying to pay them down as fast as possible. Again, because of the system, the computer system is starting to pick up this data. Now, with some credit cards, they would only allow you bi-weekly. But again, trying to find which accounts that will let you pay daily or weekly to pay these revolving accounts down. You notice I did not say loans or installments. The reason is it's your revolving accounts that's going to reflect the fastest. Now, don't get me wrong, your lines of credit and your loans do reflect. But the biggest jump in data is with your revolving credit cards, okay? That being said, you done put yourself on the debt snowball. Again, this is how you actually boost up your credit score. And yes, I'm talking about your credit score can go up to 100 points. All right. Now, there's another thing you can do, and it all depends on when you pay your credit card. And I know this is a big question for a lot of people. When is the best time to pay my credit card? Well, actually, the best time to pay your credit card is between 1 to 3 days before your bank statement. 1 to 3 days before your bank statement. Now, I'm going to help you out a little further because I know a lot of you all want to do this, but you're saying, hey, I don't have enough money to do this. So if you're working a W-2 job, okay, and you're paying taxes, what you want to do, you want to go to your HR, okay, and you want to request them to file exempt for 3 to 4 months. This is going to give you a boost in income, okay? And so that way you'll have that extra income that you can apply toward your credit card debts and stuff to pay them down. All right? This is very important. Now, for some of you all may not even be aware, you may need to check and see if you have lost money out there. That's right. A lot of people, they have money from find money, claim money type of things out there to where you can possibly find extra money like that as well. I have had clients find a couple $1,000s that they did not even know about. So don't say that it's not for you, because it's for any and everybody that actually, you may have paid taxes. Again, you may have bought a product, a defaulted product. The company was sued. You may have got medications that the company was sued for. It could be any of those things, all right? That being said, Vantage score goes up. Okay, there are institutions. But let me go back to Experian, because I know a lot of you guys say, well, what about Experian? Let me help you understand. Experian itself, they give you a real FICO score. Okay, so they give you a real FICO score. However, whenever you do the tri-merge, where it's Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, they are giving you a Vantage score. Because Equifax, if you sign up with Equifax itself, it states on there this is a Vantage scoring system. Okay? Now, in reference to TransUnion, it's a Vantage scoring system as well. A civil Vantage scoring system. Alright? So this is the reason why I always tell people, whenever you want to shop for credit cards, shop for loans, shopping for a house, a car, or anything like that, you need to know what your real FICO scores are. You always want to go to My FICO, okay? Whenever, because this actually gives you your real scoring. This is going to give you your FICO 8 scoring system, your FICO 9 scoring system, by the way, which is your PenFed and TransUnion. PenFed uses Equifax FICO 9 for credit cards, and Experian FICO 9 for loans. Navy Federal uses TransUnion FICO 9 for credit cards, okay? Now, I know some of you all may have a few questions about Navy Federal. One of the things about it, I need to clarify that when you have multiple pledge loans, that's not helping you get a loan. The multiple pledge loans, as well as having multiple accounts in the internal score, which helps boost up the internal score, the whole purpose of that is so you qualify for unsecured credit cards. It has nothing to do with the lending aspect of a loan, okay? I just wanted to clarify that. Going back to what I was saying about My FICO, with My FICO, because they give you a FICO 8, FICO 9, they give you a mortgage score, a mortgage credit card score, in which I'm going to touch on that in a minute as well. And they give you a trending T-score, a trending 10 and a trending 10 T-score, okay? So they give you multiple scorings, and those are the real scores you need to do when shopping for any type of funding, or you're planning on buying a house or a car, those are the scores you want to use, okay? Back to Experian. Again, Experian, yes, they will give you a real FICO score. Even when you go to American Express, when you go to Chase, when you go to Capital One, when you go to Bank of America, those scoring systems they give you, those scoring systems are Vantage scores. Those are not FICO scores. And so, because they are not FICO scores, those FICO scores and Vantage scores can be different between 50 to 80 points. All right. That being said, when you have a good Vantage score, once you achieve up to 100 points or higher with your new Vantage score within that 5 days, here's one of the institutions you want to take advantage of with that FICO, with that Vantage score. This is BCU. This is Baxter Credit Union. Okay? They use a Vantage 3 TransUnion score. Okay? Now, the good thing about them, you can actually join because they're non-geo restricted. Okay? So what that means that anybody can join, and they have an organization that they go through. It's called Life Money U. Once you join this organization, it's $5. However, they will waive the $5 for you. Then once they waive the $5 for you, I myself would tell you, since you're just starting a relationship, what I would do, I would open up a savings account as well as a checking account. And I would probably give it anywhere from 30 to 90 days. Now, I know some of you all may be anxious because you're worrying about that stuff maybe coming back on the credit file. If you're worried about that, those negative items coming back on the credit file, then I would say at least give it anywhere from 15 to 30 days. Now, here's the thing about it that I want to come back to about Credit Karma before I show you these other institutions. You see this here dispute situation here? Please understand, once you do an electronic dispute, your file is going to be coded, okay? So then if they come back and they say, well, we done verified this information, all right, then you're going to have to take this a step further because they already coded it. This is the reason why I continue to try to encourage people, if you're going to dispute any type of negative items off of your credit file, then I would actually do it in a certified mail return receipt letter, okay? Because here's the thing about it, when you do it electronically and they code it, then to them, they've already verified. Now, how do they verify that? Let me explain to you. Once you send in that dispute through electronically, they're going to look at the address. Is that address the same as the creditor reported? They're going to look at the last 4 or 5 numbers. They're going to maybe look at the first 4 or 5 numbers. Either way, those are the numbers they're going to match. Now, in terms of dates and all of these other things, they're not looking at that. It's done electronically. So they're not going to look at all of these things where you said this hasn't been reported accurately, the dollar amounts and stuff. They don't care. When you do it electronically, they don't care. Like I said, with Credit Karma, it gives you the advantage temporarily. But permanently, if this thing comes back and shows back up, now you have a bigger fight, a bigger issue, okay? Because now you have to fight with them on the validity of the debt, all right? That's something that I just wanted to share with you. That being said, as I was saying, going back to get funding once you have a high Vantage score, okay? Then there's another institution called Veridian. It's a non-GO credit union as well. And they pull TransUnion also. Okay, TransUnion VantageScore. Now, the way to join them is through the Habitat of Humanities. Okay, now for those of you that may have seen in the news where they mention about Jimmy Carter's wife, President Jimmy Carter, he was one of the founders of the Habitat of Humanity where they build houses and stuff. But once you join there, you can join Veridian because it is a TransUnion VantageScore 3. That being said, here's another Vantage scoring system. However, this is NASA Federal Credit Union. Now, NASA used to be able to look at your mortgage score. They would go off of your mortgage 2 score to see if you qualify for one of their cards. NASA recently, at the beginning of the year, they switched over to Vantage 4. Now, for those of you that may not know what is the biggest difference between Vantage 3 and Vantage 4, the Vantage 3, at that point, they would count like your medical bills. If you have a medical bill, even if it was less than $100, they would count it, okay? They would count judgments and things of that nature, right? With the Vantage score system, they don't count that anymore. Even with FICO, even with the FICO score, the FICO 9 score, their biggest thing from their FICO 8, if you had a bill that was less than $100, it wouldn't be counted against your credit score. Okay, now I hope I'm doing a good job with explaining this. If I am, please give me a thumbs up. It does help the algorithm, and I'm trying to share as much as I can with the community. So I hope that you guys support me by subscribing and giving me a thumbs up. Now, the good thing about NASA, one of the good things about, you can actually do a pre-qualify. Once your credit score is up, you can do a pre-qualify without it impacting your credit score. So that's the great thing about NASA. And again, like I said, I believe in gardening the relationship anywhere from 30 to 90 days. But again, for those of you that be worried about those negative items coming back, you may want to give it at least 15 to 20 days. So that way you can actually build the relationship, open up the account, give it the deposit. Now, once you have those negative items off, here's another institution that pulls from TransUnion. Now, they use a FICO 9, and you can use your FICO 9 just like your Vantage score because you're using those same accounts I told you to get reported. And once your score is up, this is a universal credit, because all you need is at least a 560 credit score. But the great thing about this institution is that if you have even perfect credit, but you have a high debt to income ratio up to 75%, they will still approve you. However, like when you go to like these Vantage scoring, even if you're at 55%, they may not approve you because of the DTI. That's the reason that I was telling you about paying down all of your small revolving accounts down to 0. So that would help you. Now, here's another thing. Remember I mentioned PenFed? PenFed would actually give you an approval even if you have up to 60% DTI. Okay, so that's the great part about that. Now, again, with Universal Credit, like I said, the great thing about them is that they give loans from $1,000 up to $50,000, but you can have a DTI up to 75%. And there's one other institution where you want to go with your high Vantage score or your high FICO 9 score, and this is Avant. Avant, they offer loans up to from $2,000 up to $35,000. Now, the interesting thing about them, their DTI is up to 70%. Okay, up to 70%. Now, please keep in mind with these last two lenders I just showed you, they may not be in all 50 states. I think it's maybe about 3 to 5 states they may not represent. But other than that, you should be able to get approved for these lenders, okay? And again, the biggest key factor, if you have small open revolving accounts, paying those down to zero, you're gonna see your credit score jump like that. When you dispute those negative items off of your credit report, you're gonna see your credit score jump like that, okay? Now, I hope that this video does you guys some justice. If you have any question about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off of the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.